Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the regularly scheduled meeting of the Board of Public Works for today, Friday, October 21, 2016.
Commissioner Rivas, James, Davis, and Jacinto are present. President James, we have a quorum. May we start with Bureau introductions, please, starting with Bureau of Street Lighting.
Good morning, Ruben Flamenco, Bureau of Street Lighting.
Good morning, Michael Simpson, LA Sanitation.
Good morning, Mike Cirillo, Bureau of Engineering.
Good morning, Angelica Samayoa with the Bureau of Contract Administration.
Good morning, Robert Gutierrez, Bureau of Street Services.
Good morning, Ted Jordan, Public Works General Counsel.
Fernando Campos, Executive Officer. President James, we do not have any speaker cards under general public comment, no commentary under the Neighborhood Council section, and we did receive a speaker card under item number 3 for today's agenda.
Okay, then we'll close general public comment as well as our Neighborhood Council category of commentary. Is there a second to my motion that we approve the meeting minutes from the board meeting of Wednesday, September 28, 2016 by Commissioner Davis? Any objection? Without objection, we will approve those meeting minutes. Commissioner Jacinto, on accessing Los Angeles recognition ceremony, sir, all yours.
Thank you, President James and Commissioner colleagues and Bureau staff and all those present in our wonderful boardroom today. It's a great honor to be able to say thanks and appreciate when we have good things going on in this city. And last May, we had a wonderful program called Accessing LA, Doing Business with the City. And it was part of the Asian Pacific American Heritage Month, part of our mayor's plan to help celebrate the diversity of the city that makes us so great. And we had a wonderful program, probably over 400 individuals, and I'd like to share with you, Executive Officer Campos will share with you the program book that we had over at LAPD, headquarters of Ron Deaton, and we did this in collaboration with Councilman David Rue, one of our co-chairs for the Asia Pacific Heritage Month, and our great collaborator, Alex Kim. But our Bureau of Contract Administration led our efforts from our Public Works family to implement a business inclusion program outreach event aimed at targeting small and diverse businesses with an overview of the city of Los Angeles and how to do business with us and with various departments and proprietary entities present. We had a great time. It was very fruitful, all in support of our Mayor Garcetti's Back to Basics agenda plan that strives for a prosperous city for all. All right, so when you look at this program, you'll see that it was very, very diverse, not just Asian Pacific Islander, and that's what LA is all about. It was successful for a number of reasons. We want to acknowledge and celebrate the contributions, partnerships, and support of the various entities and individuals that make it happen, that made it happen. Of course, when we're talking about the Bureau of Contracts and Administration, we thank and acknowledge the leadership of Director John Reamer, the work of Linda McGlinchey, and of course, the absolute pivotal role of Hannah Choi. So I want Hannah, Linda, and to come on up and help me with this. Let's give them a round of applause. From the Public Affairs Office, we were fortunate to have the work of Paul Gomez. I think Paul's here with us, and I'm very appreciative of having the assistance and support of intern then now BCA staff, Jessica Lopez. So come on up, Jessica. Give her a round of applause. And Shelly Lopez, who works with me as our executive assistant. Okay, but to do any program in the city of Los Angeles, you have to need a lot of help. You need partners. You need to be collaborative. And right now, we have some all-stars from our Bureau of Contract Administration who went over and above their usual scope of work to really pitch in and say, hey, this is not what I usually do, but I'm going to contribute. So I want to, our first 2 certificates go out to 2 BCA Bureau of Contract Administration staff that are all-stars in this Accessing LA endeavor, and that would be Diana G. and Melissa Estor. Let's give them a round of applause. Come on up. They like to be behind the scenes, but it's okay to rise and shine and take your place, and let us thank you for the work that you did. Now, we're not done yet because we're going back next year and doing this again and again. So don't think that we're going to thank you, but we're going to keep on going. So please. Okay. So we also have corporate partners that made this day successful back in May, 5 months ago, but it's worth the wait. We had to wait for Hannah. Yeah. But first, we have some corporate partners I want to ask them to come on up to take their, and we're going to have a picture over here if we can, President James, right?
Oh,
Our
yes.
first corporate partner is Waba Grill. If you haven't been there, they fed 400 people, and that would be represented by Paul and Bo Choi. Yeah. Waba Grill. Okay. To help us realize the day, we had corporate partners, and they were wonderful because they helped support and really make the event happen. We have our first corporate partner, PCL Construction, represented by Priscilla Chavez. Priscilla, ¿dónde estás? Priscilla, okay, we'll send you yours. We had a great partnership, Goldman Sachs, 10,000 small businesses in Long Beach City College, represented by Vivian Shimoyama, and they have their recent graduates of their program that are proof in the pudding that small business programs work. Let's give it up for Goldman Sachs. Stay up here, we're gonna take a picture. Proof in the pudding, small business. All right. Make sure you get on our BIP, our BAVIN, yeah? Okay. From the Asian Pacific City Attorneys Association of the City of Los Angeles, Mr. Gerald Sato. Thank you to Mr. Gerald Sato. Gerald. Cool. All right. Thank you, sir. Stay up here. There she is. From L. Riley Trucking and Dispatch, Mr. Leslie Ryan. Come on up, Leslie. Give it up. Everybody, here, we're going to take a picture in a little bit, too. All right. So I have an MVP in the house, too, as well. Most valuable player, collaborator, who, Hannah, in her infinite wisdom, and it was really Hannah's vision of accessing LA, so I have to credit you with that vision. But you were able to access someone who was in our city family who just came in as an MVP, kind of help get the bulk of our participants there on that day, and I hope that he continues to work with our city because he's a great small business entrepreneur, all around Rambo type of guy. Let's welcome our Rambo house, Dion Rambo and Miko Palon. Rambo to the rescue. So, President James, colleagues, and Bureau staff, this is Accessing LA. We will continue to do this, to reach out to small and diverse businesses, to help our BIP numbers that will support our efforts, Commissioner Davis, and all the wonderful work. So let this be an opportunity to thank and to edify these and to continue the work forward.
Thank you, Commissioner Jacinto. We'll start with Commissioner Davis.
First, I'd like to commend the leadership of Commissioner Jacinto for putting together this effort to reach out to include others in business opportunities and really to increase the awareness about how to do business with the City of Los Angeles. This work is critically important because it reflects the core values of our mayor. We all know that he came to the office and he had a set of principles called back to basics. And one of those back to basics says that we will create opportunities for businesses throughout all of Los Angeles. And this project reflects that. So I'm so proud. And I want to say that the work that the Bureau of Contract Administration does is so important to the Public Works Department, because not only do they inspect what we expect, but they are the ones who really are the keepers of the opportunities that the City of Los Angeles has to give to not only those who are in Los Angeles, but we know that what we do in business, we are probably the major economic engine in the Southern California economy. And that is, again, because of the work that is done by Bureau of Contract Administration. So I thank you all for what you are continuing to do.
Thank you, Commissioner Davis. So, Commissioner Jacinto, first of all, I'll start with you. Your background shows through today in your expertise and experience with outreach and inclusion and leadership. So thank you. We really appreciate it. And for all of the participants that are here today, this is what makes our city great. And we really, as hard as we work on this, we still feel like we're just building the foundation for what this can be. And so, Commissioner Sento, I'm just thrilled to see the work that's been done, the efforts that are depicted in the program. And I can't leave out Hannah Choi and Linda McGlinchey and our great folks from the Bureau of Contract Administration. You know, Hannah, your name surfaces so often with some of the programs and the projects in the city that are at the forefront of what's so important with city government. So, again, thank you for all that you do for the city. Linda, you know how much we all rely on you and your expertise here at the Board of Public Works and in the department. So thank you as well. And for everyone that participated in the program, welcome. We look forward to seeing you a lot more. So thank you, Commissioner Sento, and to the bureaus of all of our bureaus, but sanitation and contract administration and engineering, everyone that was featured in the program.
Beautiful. Thank you, President James. We have one other corporate partner that just walked in the room, and I'm glad I saw, representing PCL Construction. I called you out first. I'll call you out again. Priscilla Chavez. Thank you, Priscilla.
Hey. And, you know, I realize I neglected, you reminded me with announcing PCL, I neglected to focus, too, on the importance of the corporate partnership and sponsorship. We can't do it without you. And so we really, really, really appreciate your willingness to step up and help us with this program. So thank you. So everyone that's involved, we'll go on just a 2-minute recess from our agenda, take a quick photo, and then get right back to business. So thank you, everyone. Commissioner Sento, again, thank you, sir, and to our bureaus and all the participants in the Accessing LA program. Agenda item number 1, Bureau of Engineering for Council District 14. 6th Street Viaduct Replacement Project, right-of-way number 33746. This is a wireline crossings agreements request recommending that the board authorize the city engineer to sign acceptance of a wireline crossing agreement with Property Owners Union Pacific Railroad Company, and a license for electric supply line across or along railway property from the Burlington Northern Santa Fe Railway Company, BNSF, and 2, authorize the Director of the Office of Accounting, upon request of the City Engineer, to draw the necessary demands of a sum not to exceed $214,000 payable to UPR&R and $3,500 payable to BNSF, such amounts representing the funds required to process, receive, and acquire the needed rights from UPRR and BNSF to enable relocation of the City of Los Angeles Department of Water and Power lines as needed for construction of the project. Mr. Jimenez.
Good morning. Udi Jimenez, Chief Real Estate Officer for the Bureau of Engineering. So I'm here to ask the board to approve these 2 agreements. Previously, there was a line that crossed 2 railroad corridors and the Los Angeles River that were guyed, or in other words, attached to the previous bridge that is no longer there, almost gone. And they had to be removed from the existing location, which was an overhead location. And there were several alternatives that were considered. They were considered to be too expensive or not viable alternatives to either go on 4th Street or 7th Street Bridge and cross the river that way. It was too far, and it ended up being more costly to do that. So this alternative is going to drill underneath both of the railroad corridors and the Los Angeles River, and it's going to daylight on the east side and provide the electricity needed for the businesses on the east side of the river. And these are the last 2 agreements that we need. We've already secured agreements from Metro and from Amtrak, and BNSF and UP are the last 2 agreements that we need from the railroads.
Okay, well, I suppose we utilized whatever leverage we had to work out these agreements, and here we are. Any questions at all on agenda item number 1? Okay, well, I'll make a motion that we adopt agenda item number 1. Seconded by Commissioner Jacinto. Any objection? Without objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 1. Any issue sending it forthwith? We'll send it forthwith. Udi, thank you for the work that your division did with this.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Agenda item at number 2. Council District 1, a requested hardship waiver from the above-ground facilities ordinance requirements for an underground requirement adjacent to 261 West Isabel Street, recommending that the board first approve the request for the waiver from the below-ground grade requirement of the Los Angeles Municipal Code Section 62.082A, adjacent to 261 West Isabel Street, and authorize AT&T to install a cabinet 40.5 inches high by 42.8 inches wide by 19.9 inches deep in the public right-of-way adjacent to 261 West Isabel Street. Mr. Arce. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. How are you? Noah Arce with the Bureau of Engineering's Utility Permit Group, which also covers above-ground facilities. So just as a reminder, above-ground facilities, or AGFs, are covered by Los Angeles Municipal Code Section 62.8. Just wanted to mention that really quick. Now, this particular site, 261 West Isabel Street, it's, just so we know, it's about 2.5 miles from us, north of City Hall, near the 110 and the 5 freeways, just to give you an idea of where it's located. So yes, here in this case, AT&T is requesting permission to install a cabinet that is approximately 3.5 feet high, 3.5 feet wide, and less than 2 feet deep in the public right-of-way. And so within the 62.8 municipal code, there is a requirement that certain areas where above-ground facilities cannot be installed above ground, they have to be installed underground. 261 West Isabel Street is one of these locations. Within this same section of the code, it does say that the Board of Public Works has the authority to waive the below-grade requirement if it finds that technical or financial hardship would result in imposition of these requirements. As a result, AT&T has submitted a hardship waiver request. Basically, it states that if they install an underground vault, there's not enough room in the public right-of-way.
So it's a technical hardship.
It's a technical hardship, yes. So BOE has reviewed their application and found it to be compliant with 62.08. Notification letters were also sent out to the adjoining and adjacent property owners. No opposition. And as a result, we are recommending that the board approve this hardship waiver request.
Okay, so no opposition, no appeal went through Commissioner Jacinto's office. So any questions regarding agenda item number 2 at all? Commissioner Jacinto, he's made a motion that we adopt agenda item number 2. Commissioner Davis seconded it. Any objection? Without objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 2. Any problem sending number 2 forthwith? We will send number 2 forthwith. Mr. RC, while you are there, we can move to number 3, Council District 15, above ground facility variance at 30417 South Miralest. Is it Miralest?
Miralest.
Yes, okay. Drive, recommending that the board approve the request for a variance from the height limitation requirements of the AGF ordinance pursuant to the Los Angeles Municipal Code. This is section 6208 VB, and to authorize Crown Castle to install a 30-foot high steel monopole in the public right-of-way adjacent to 30417 South Miralest Drive. Mr. Arce, we have a speaker card on number 3, but we'll start with you, summarize what we're doing here, and I'm going to guess that the speaker card maybe just in case we have questions, but go ahead.
Okay, yes, so here it's, you're right, 30417 South Miralest Drive. It's in the San Pedro area. The particular address, the home itself is actually in Rancho Palos Verdes, but the site of the house is within City of LA city limits. So as a result, they are subject to 62.08. In this particular case, Crown Castle is applying for a variance, a height variance, because they are the code indicates the limitation, height limitation is 5 feet 6 inches. Crown Castle here is proposing to install a monopole that is 30 feet high with attached electrical meter. So within 62.08, there is a section that basically indicates what the requirements are for a variance. Without going into all the details, we basically reviewed their conditions and the requirements that were met. Everything was met. The main reason for going above the height limitation is because their signal, it's a line of sight technology, so that's why they have to go well above 5 feet 6 inches for their electrical signals. In this particular case, we did send out notifications, and during the 14-day period, there were no appeals submitted, but we did receive one after the appeal period, and it was not completed. Only, I believe it did not include the $100 fee. And we did try to accommodate the property owner by setting up a meeting with Commissioner Jacinto and the property owner. They did not show up. They were not responsive. We notified them that they would be able to come in today to speak if they wanted to on their reason for not wanting to, or to provide details on their reason for not wanting to install this monopole. I have not heard back from them, and I don't think there was a speaker card submitted for that process.
I'll get to that in a moment, but it sounds like they've abandoned the opposition, but go ahead.
Okay, so as a result, we are, so Crown Castle has met all the conditions required for the waiver variance request per 62.08, and therefore we recommend that the board approve this variance request at this site.
Thank you, sir. Mr. O'Boyle, are you here? You're here for the proposal. Are you just in case there's a question? Okay. Commissioner Cinto?
Thank you, President James. And colleagues, you know, this co-location of a pole, a telecommunications apparatus on a sign is more of an optimal situation where we're co-locating as opposed to putting more appliances and poles in the public right-of-way. So I think this is a desirable more than just a separate pole. So I support this, and I think we're going to see this, and the more we can have things stacked and leveraged, will create less in the public right-of-way, which is desirable.
Okay. Any questions on agenda item number 3? I don't have any questions. Commissioner Jacinto has made a motion that we adopt agenda item number 3. Is there a second on number 3? Commissioners Rivas and Davis. Without objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 3.
Thank you.
Any issue sending number 3 forthwith? We'll send number 3 forthwith. Thank you, Mr. Arce. Have a nice weekend, sir. Agenda item number 4, requested contract amendment recommending that the board first approve the board report by the Bureau of Street Services to execute a contract amendment number 1 and change in Article 2, Sections 2.12 and 2.13 to contract number C127608 with All American Asphalt and contract number C127607 with Vulcan Materials Company, and authorize myself or 2 members of the board to execute contract amendment number 1 in connection with the production of recycled asphalt concrete from reclaimed asphalt pavement for the Bureau of Street Services Zone 1 maintenance districts. Ms. Ostrander. Good morning.
Good morning. I know that was a mouthful.
Well, we got through it.
Got through it, okay. Pamela Strander for the Bureau of Street Services. Back on June 3rd, 2016, the board did approve to award contracts to All American Asphalt and Vulcan Materials for the production of recycled asphalt for the Street Services Zone 1 maintenance districts. In the contract itself, there's just a small discrepancy as to the transportation haul rates, waiting time in 2 different sections of the contract. So this amendment I drafted up is just to clarify that the waiting time is based on and in accordance with Article 4, Section 4.01, titled Compensation. And the haul rate matrix submitted in the bid documents. All American Asphalt, we refer to Exhibit C, which they're currently using the city's transportation haul weights that we use for our as-needed contracts. And Vulcan Materials, they submitted Exhibit B, which their matrix is submitted by them, and their rates are based on what they had submitted. Just to give you just a quick background, the current rate in the contract states $4.30 for a 6-minute increment, and All American ARC will be using the $4.62 rate for the 6-minute increment, and Vulcan Materials rate is $12 for a 6-minute increment. So that's pretty much just the small discrepancy, and that's what this contract is, just to clarify those 2 articles.
And recognizing that we're seeking that clarification today, Ms. Ostrander, just wanted to confirm, and Mr. Jordan, if you have any thoughts one way or the other, it doesn't seem to me that what we're doing would have been something that would have lent any advantageous position to any of the bid issues related to this, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. I reviewed the matter with the Bureau and think everything they're doing here is appropriate.
Okay. Thank you. Any other questions on agenda item number 4? I don't have any further questions on number 4. I'll make a motion that we adopt agenda item number 4. Is there a second on number 4? Commissioner Davis, any objection? Without objection, we will adopt agenda item number 4. Any issue sending number... Thank you, Ms. Ostrander. Have a nice weekend. Any issue sending number 4 forthwith? We will send number 4 forthwith. Agenda item number 5, joint report, Bureau of Engineering and Contract Administration, recommending that the board first approve the list of 36 qualified contractors to provide on-call sidewalk construction and repair services for various public works projects. Second, authorize myself or 2 members of the Board of Public Works to execute the signed contracts received from the selected contractors and forward the executed contracts to the city clerk to attest. Number 3, determine the initial order of the pre-qualified on-call small sidewalk contractors list by a random drawing that we will do here this morning. And number 4, authorize the city engineer to administer the contracts for on-call sidewalk construction and repair services and assign work packages to the pre-qualified on-call small sidewalk contractors list. And I think that's it for our list of recommendations. Jonathan Carroll on number 5.
Good morning. Jonathan Carroll, Project Award and Control, Bureau of Engineering. So I'm here, as you said, to present the board report for our recommendation for the board to approve the list of contractors to our small sidewalk contractors list. What I want to make sure that everybody is aware of is that last night I received, or yesterday afternoon, I received a last-minute email from one of our contractors on the list of 36 who has decided to withdraw for consideration. So that would be Paveco, listed in listed as number 29 on page 4 of the board report.
Number 29?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
I had a question on that one,
On number 29?
on his statement.
Oh, okay.
I wanted to
I'm
ask.
sorry, Commissioner Davis.
I wanted to ask, in terms of Pavco's withdrawal, did they state why they withdrew? Did they have other work, or is it something?
On my list, they're number 30, but it's Pavco, but go ahead.
Yeah, they're number
Yes, sir.
29 on mine.
They explained to me that they had, they have a lot of work scheduled, and they don't have the availability to accommodate the work packages that they anticipate from the city regarding this project.
Sure. And my second question is then there an opportunity to move up another person who did not make it to that slot?
No, what we have is of the list that we've recommended, it is the result of analyzing all the packages that we received. We received more than 36 packages. What happened was that there were 3 that we rejected because 1 was received well after the deadline that was posted, and 2 were received, did not meet the minimum requirements for licensing. So we did not receive anything subsequent to our established deadline, and there's nobody to move up to the recommended list.
So we'll be at 35.
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, oh, I see what I was looking at a different. Somehow I ended up, oh, you listed all 38. List of contractors that submitted.
Wrong page.
Well, we're going to go through and name them all anyway, so we know it's Pavco that withdrew.
Yes.
Got it. Okay. Any other questions on this? Okay, Commissioner Cinto.
Thank you. Jonathan, I just had a question. There is the asterisks firms are first-time bidders with our city,
Yes, sir.
and so that they have not, they're new, and some of them could be diverse small businesses, maybe weeby.
Exactly. And
Great.
that was, of course, the intent of our list.
That's great. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, I was figuring out why there were 2 different lists, but I figured that out, so I missed the answer to Commissioner Cinto's question. Go ahead. Would you repeat the answer to his question?
Yes, sir, that is.
Oh, so, okay, let's have that discussion again. I just missed it. Let's rewind the tape on that. Commissioner Cinto, you have a question.
Jonathan, I just wanted to verify and confirm that the firms that are asterisks or have an asterisk behind their name are first-time bidders, and
Yes,
so
sir.
therefore they're new to our city and our contracting process and represent diverse businesses, small businesses, maybe weeby, gender-based.
I would assume that they do. We couldn't certify their status, but yes, they were part of our outreach events. And
A follow-up on that, I'd like to sort of verify that they are the new ones, what type of business entities they are. If we could, is there a way to verify in the future as we go forward what type of
I don't have that information, but my colleague from Bureau of Contract Administration.
Ms.
can address that.
McGlinchey,
to the rescue?
see, you proved me right from my statement earlier this morning about how much we rely on you. Go ahead, ma'am.
Linda McGlinchey, Bureau of Contract Administration. Part of the vetting process, the Bureau of Contract Administration did look at the certification status. So it is reflected in the board report. However, I believe most of them are not a certified firm of any particular type.
Commissioner Davis?
No.
Commissioner Penning?
Sure. I just wanted to just say that I think this is a great step that we're taking in terms of looking at our sidewalk program as an opportunity to expand the pool of businesses that we do to help support small businesses. I know that the vision for this has always been that it's a great way to get new folks in the door, and hopefully over time, because this is a 30-year program that we're embarking on, they can actually grow so that at some point maybe they're not small businesses anymore. I think it's a great opportunity. I wanted you to talk to me a little bit about the transitional job programs.
That one I'll defer to my colleagues at BCA as well.
Come on back.
So we've taken a unique approach with this particular RFQ in that we are requiring all of the contractors prior to subcontracting any work out or hiring new employees to contact the certified transitional job opportunities, the certified companies that offer and develop employment to disadvantaged people. So that is how we are working it in with to lift up both the disadvantaged people as well as hopefully encouraging and developing smaller new businesses for the city.
So we're talking about veterans, homeless individuals.
Chronically homeless, veterans, people that have had interaction with the penal system.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Repenning, and I really wanted to just echo the point being made by Commissioner Repenning. We've known since the implementation of the sidewalk repair program that we would have these opportunities. This is our first step at the opportunities, and we look forward to really growing the small, I don't want to call them small sidewalk repair program, but the smaller contract sidewalk repair of the sidewalk repair program is maybe the best way to describe it. And we look forward to growing it. This is a 30-year program. Obviously, a lot of work needs to be done in the city. And so we look forward to working with this on-call list and seeing the opportunities grow in the years to come. Commissioner Davis?
Yeah, I wanted to echo both Repenning and James in their comments and compliments of the program. And I think really this is what it's all about, really putting forth an effort for inclusion. It's terribly very difficult and challenging and competitive for small businesses and disadvantaged businesses often to compete and to win. And when we have opportunities like this, it really helps us to realize our vision, which is to not only embrace the larger corporations who do a lion's share of the work for us, but to create these new opportunities for others who are here to experience the American dream of work as well. And I think that this program does it. And quite actually, I'm excited about what it can do in helping the mayor and the board to achieve its goals.
This is something that the mayor's been very interested in. I look forward to our reporting its results to him in round one. So any further questions regarding agenda item number 5? Is there a motion on agenda item number 5 by Commissioners Jacinto and Davis, seconded by Commissioners James and Repenning? Any objection? Without objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 5 as amended because of Pavco's withdrawal. So, Mr. Campos, you will amend the record accordingly?
Yes, I will. Thank you.
So, so the motion was as amended, seconded, and voted on as amended as well. Yes, sir, Mr. Carroll.
Yes, sir. I was wondering if I could take the opportunity to acknowledge any of the contractors that might be in attendance.
I was going to go ahead. I was going to
didn't know the timing of
during
that.
during the random selection process, but
okay.
but go right ahead.
No, I just wondered if any of the contractors from our list are here. Maybe let the board know you're here.
Excellent.
Thank you very much for participating.
Thank you. So I thought that perhaps I would have Ms. McGlinchey do the honors of drawing this morning, but since she was, to avoid any issue, since you've worked on the program, Ms. McGlinchey, we've acknowledged your incredible worth to the program already with your speaking this morning. So I think we'll start with our newest, one of the commissioners can do it, correct, Mr. Jordan?
Yes.
Commissioner Rivas, she's just completed her first week with us. So Commissioner Rivas can randomly select the numbers. Just pull one out at a time, and that'll be the order. Yes. Just one at a time, all the way through.
All the way? Okay.
Oh, we need to hand out our
Wait, do I start?
sheets here.
Okay, I have the first one.
Okay.
Yes, so this will
Ready?
be, yes, this will be number one.
Torres Construction Corporation?
Okay, Torres, Torres, that'll be number one, okay?
Sorry. Access Pacific?
Access Pacific will be number two, okay?
Did I rip it? LA Electricom?
LA Electricom, number three.
Atlas Underground?
Atlas Underground, number four.
Taped up, so it takes a while. Is it Eno Construction? Okay.
Eno, INNO
INNO.
Construction is number five. INNO.
EBS General Engineering?
EBS General Engineering, number six.
Ortiz and Son?
Ortiz and Son, doing business as Ortiz Construction Services, number seven.
Mike Prillick?
Mike Perlich and Sons,
Sons.
number eight.
Trident Construction Services?
Okay, Trident's number nine.
All American Asphalt?
All American Asphalt, number 10.
Alameda Construction Services?
Alameda Construction Services, number 11.
JL Moody Construction and Development?
J.L. Moody is number 12.
Rojas Construction?
Rojas Construction is number 13.
Valle Grande Construction?
Okay, Valle Grande Construction, number 14.
Ayus and Company? A-Y-U-S?
Oh,
Is that how, I'm not sure how I
Ayus.
Ayus? Is- did I
AYUS
pronounce
and
that right?
Company. Okay, they're number 15.
PPC Construction?
PPC Construction, number 16.
Rough Construction?
RUFF, Rough Construction, number 17.
Christopher Ugachukwu?
Christopher Ogochukwu.
Oh, Mantis Builders.
Mantis
yes.
Builders is number 18.
Commercial Paving and Coating?
Okay, Commercial Paving and Coating, number 19.
Ramona Incorporated?
Ramona is number 20.
BPR, doing business as Channel Island Sidewalk Grinding?
Okay, that'll be number 21.
Axis Construction?
That's AAXIS Construction will be number 22.
Max Out?
Max Out Incorporated will be number 23.
Los Angeles Engineering.
Los Angeles Engineering, 24.
Pelp Incorporated, doing business as Excel Paving Company.
Okay, they'll be number 25.
Geronimo Concrete.
Geronimo Concrete will be number 26.
Coleman Construction.
Coleman will be number 27.
Los Angeles Conservation Corps.
They'll be number 28.
IECLT.
IECLT Incorporated will be number 29. Bless you.
JTC Construction.
JTC will be number 30. 5 to go.
Almost there. Little Potato.
Little Potatoes, 31. 31 Little Potatoes.
Jason Tokushige, is that how you doing business as Revive Landscape and Water Feature Design?
Okay, they're 32.
Frank Fruit General Engineering.
They're 33.
Two more. Golden State One Construction Corporation.
They are 34.
This is the last one. Orochena Construction Service.
They are 35. Everything checked out, Mr. Carroll. Thank you, sir. So we have the order in the record, the approval of the contract that's being sent forthwith. So we are done with agenda item number 5, correct, Mr. Campos?
That is correct.
You have everything you need there. Thank you, everyone, and we look forward to working with all of you. Agenda item number 6, Bureaus of Engineering and Street Services in Council District 14, requested street closure of Santa Fe Avenue, October 24th, 2016, that is Monday, through October 28th, 2016, recommending the board authorize a temporary full closure of Santa Fe Avenue underneath and adjacent to the 6th Street Viaduct between October 24th, 2016, Monday, and October 28th, 2016 for the demolition activities associated with the 6th Street Viaduct Replacement Project. Julia Moy.
Hi, good morning. Julia Moy with the City of Los Angeles Bureau of Engineering. I am with the 6th Street Viaduct Improvement Program. This morning I'm here to bring before you a request for authority to close Santa Fe Avenue for a period of 5 days beginning on Monday of next week, October 24th, and concluding on October 28th. This request for a full closure, a 5-day full closure of Santa Fe came through the council office. The contract we have with SSW allows them evening closures only of Santa Fe Avenue, and their schedule indicated that that would be a 20-day activity, so 20 evenings in a row, 4 weeks of night work. We've had some concerns on the project from Pico Gardens on the east side of the project regarding noise and night noise related to night demolition activities. And now that we're at the west side, the very west limits of the project, we're close to the Arts District area where there are kind of a heavier residential presence. So the council office, in order to help mitigate community impacts and night demolition noise, requested that the contractor, the team, along with DOT and our partners in the Bureau of Street Services, to look at ways to mitigate and reduce the night noise impacts. And we presented an option of a 5-day closure that would not have a cost impact to our contract. And we, during that time, DOT requested that we provide traffic control officers. There's at 5 different locations along Mateo where the detour will be occurring in order to help facilitate flow of traffic. We're very aware of how congested of a corridor Santa Fe is, especially with morning and evening traffic in and out of downtown, as well as industrial traffic in the area. We've coordinated through the council office with community organizations and personally with the Bureau of Engineering. We've coordinated with other large projects and businesses in the area, such as the Metro Division 20 project that create a lot of traffic. So we're recommending that the board adopt this 5-day closure of Santa Fe starting on Monday.
Thank you. Any questions for Julia? You answered my questions in your presentation, as is often the case. Any questions for Ms. Moy this morning? Thank you. I'll make a motion that we adopt agenda item number 6. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner Repenning. Any objection? Without objection, we will adopt agenda item number 6. Any issues sending number 6 forthwith? We will send number 6 forthwith. Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice weekend. Agenda item number 7, oral report on the solid resources collection yard activities. Our semi-annual status report from the Bureau of Sanitation, Mr. Gaines. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Commissioner James, Commissioners, Bureau Heads, City Attorney, Executive Officer. My name is Lloyd Gaines. I'm here for the Bureau of Sanitation to report on collection activities for both the Valley and the South Division. I did a few of these, and normally I come up here and say we have adequate staffing, but we're having some challenges right now with staffing, a little shortages. They are for a variety of reasons. Some of it's retirement, others are promotion to the WP and programs that we are working on. We have a vacancy rate of about 10%. We usually like to see it around 4 or 5%. So we are currently working on backfilling those positions. Our customer base is still about 750,000 homes that we service every week. In terms of trash that we collect, we have 5 yards plus a satellite yard. With the main 5 yards, they collect about 1,200 tons a day of combined material. And that material consists of 600 tons of trash, 300 tons of green waste, about 200 tons of recycle, and roughly 100 tons of bulky items. As far as special programs, we continue to serve Los Angeles World Airport. They love us there. They don't want to deal with anyone else. I mean, they're just happy about the service. We collected trash and recycling there, about 60 tons of trash daily and 15 tons of recycle. We also have worked with the Los Angeles Unified School District. We have about 483 schools enrolled in our recycling program, and about a third of that is in the valley side, and the other 2/3 is in the south side. Most of the schools are elementary and charter schools, and we collect about 5,000 tons annually from them. Another project we have going on is one of our districts, the Western District, is our last district to go fully clean fuel. That project is still ongoing. It was done in 2 phases. The first phase we completed, where they have the stations and the equipment already in place. Phase 2 is going to be the retrofitting of the fleet services bays, where they actually do the maintenance on the vehicles. That is about 70% complete, and we expect to complete that by January 28th of 2017. Some of the pilot programs we are working on, we're continuing to work on the mattress pilot program. We're taking out some of the mattresses from the bulky items we collect so that we can recycle them. And The Mattress Recycling Council is still finalizing the language and the reimbursement method to the collectors as well as the recyclers. So we have an opportunity now to figure out what's the best truck, what's the best method to pick the mattress up and the routing and all that. So we're almost at the end of that and we're just waiting on their final conclusion. Then we would be fully recycling all the mattresses that we collect in the city. Another project we're looking at, in which I'm pretty excited about, is sanitation is in discussion with 2 vendors in a 1-year pilot with an all-electric trash truck. That's never really been done before, so we anticipate that pilot to start in the spring of 2017. And some of the things we're looking for from that is if the testing is successful, we can add that into our fleet in terms of diversity, because we have LNG and CNG right now, and that'll be another source that we can rely on. Some of the things we're looking for in that is performance as well as battery life. It's always an issue with the battery life, right? Can it last 8 hours a day under those extreme conditions? So we're excited about that. The last thing I want to let you know is that with our CNG, LNG program, that the sanitation department is the largest municipal clean fuel with over 500 natural gas-powered vehicles, and that's about 77% of our fleet. We are just completing an order we just had with 85 of those trucks. 56 has been delivered, and we are waiting for the last units to be delivered. We expect it to happen soon. And we'll be ready for our next order of trucks so that we can try to reach that 100% clean fuel vehicles. And that's pretty much what's going on in collection right now.
Thank you, Mr. Gaines. Commissioner Davis.
So this assessment that you've just given is an assessment of our services that we provide to the residential area of Los Angeles and our city employees who provide sanitation services? Or,
yes.
Is that correct?
Yes, the 750,000 customers that we service. And that's from pretty much Calabasas all the way to San Pedro.
Wonderful. So in terms of clean fuel, our current form of clean fuel vehicles is what?
Our current form is mostly LNG, and then we started focusing on CNG, especially in the Western District, just because of where it's located. Most of our district yards are kind of in industrial areas, but the Western yard is right in the middle of a neighborhood, so to stand those tall LNG towers up in there, they would have put up more resistance. With the CNG, the methane comes straight from the gas line, and then you don't have the towers and everything, and it's pretty low-key as far as its footprint.
So when we diversify by the pilot program in terms of utilizing the electric, what would the advantage of that service of clean vehicle be in terms of using electric as compared to the others?
What would be the advantage of the electric over the clean fuel?
Yes. No, the electric. You mentioned that you would pilot an electric, if I heard you correctly.
Yes.
And so I'm just trying to realize the advantage of the electric vehicle that we would have. Obviously, it's a clean fuel vehicle.
With the advantage, it would be absolutely no emissions in the air. That would be the first advantage. The other advantage would be we wouldn't have to rely on another supplier to keep the vehicles rolling in case we have a catastrophe or earthquake. Our biggest concern is fueling the vehicles. If we can't get the fuel, then similar to New York when they had their problem, they had to ship fuel in there. Luckily, most of their vehicles are on diesel, and it was easier to get. But, if something happens, will we be able to get the liquid nitrogen pumped in or not? So when we have that diversity, we'll be able to go to different sources.
Great. So in terms of the areas we have 2 offices that you've reported on, including the South Yard, is that correct?
We have 2 what?
You reported in terms of this report on 2 facilities.
The Valley and South Division, the 2 divisions.
South Division, correct. And so in terms of the issue that we have with personnel, we're 10% under, I thought I heard you say.
Yes, we had a 10% vacancy rate.
how does that just generally impact the South Bureau, if you will?
Well, that's across the board. It's not just the South. So, because I'm normally we'll separate the divisions and do the reports differently, but because of the circumstances of what we're going through, I'm kind of covering both ends right now. So, and I'm pretty much running both sides too. So I'm deeply involved in the staffing and the vehicles and all that. So it's kind of like a general report for all of them. So just combined, it's about 10% overall.
Okay. And so when we look at the what we do in the South Bureau, you are interviewing individuals now for jobs in that area. Obviously, well, for some individuals to be placed to that area, correct?
Right. We're moving forward with that, right.
And is there a goal in terms of when we think that we might be able to make some hires, if you will, in that area for additional people to the gap field is 10% that we have. You said it's spread throughout the city. However, obviously, you know, interacting with South LA in that area, I was interested in the impact that we would have in our hiring process as to when we can get more personnel. Is there a goal on that or not necessarily so?
Is there a goal to fill those positions?
That is correct.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, what is the goal?
Well,
a ballpark figure of when? Do you have a ballpark figure?
Oh, you mean as a number of employees?
Right. When will we start moving towards closing the gap on the 10% that we're under in operation?
We will, I would say robustly, we'll probably start in January because we're not the only division requesting personnel, hiring process. We got other departments, so personnel has to handle several departments along with us, and it's a staffing issue with them too, so it's kind of bottleneck. I would like it to happen next month, but we have to kind of fit into the agenda of what's going on. So I'm looking at probably January, February when we get the information out to the public in the bulletin.
So from an operations point of view, I was very excited about the opportunity we had on the other side of the aisle with the citywide franchise service that provides services to the multifamily and businesses. But I equally think it is important that we continue to maintain the standards, the goals and objectives to have efficient and effective service on the residential side as well with those city employees equally.
Yes.
So I think that this operation, for me, is equally as important as the franchise is, and I know that it allows us to deal with both market and non-market entities, to empower trash haulers on that side, but I would love to see us maintain outstanding service and to achieve outstanding goals with city employees who are providing the service on the residential side as well. So that is why I talked about our goals around the 10%. And how important that is to us, because I believe that it is important to operationally continue to reach for excellence in the service that we provide on this side of the aisle.
And I totally agree with you because that's what we do preach to our employees. So, our policies and our rules and our training to our employees, all we have is our service in terms of getting that message to our customer. It's two ways you can satisfy our customer. You can give them the cheapest service possible to be satisfied, or you can give them the best service. And we're in the service business, so we definitely preach that to our employees.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Davis. Commissioner Rupenning?
Lloyd, do you have a percentage of missed collections?
Okay, when you say collections, you're talking about curbside or bulky? Curbside. It's very low. I don't know the exact number, but we do get complaints about missed blue, black, green cans, but it's not on a high scale. And trust me, we're really the next day we're on it.
And I agree with you. I think it's very, very low from what I remember. And in terms of the bulky items, our goal of people call and report, we're picking them up the next collection day. Do you know the percentage?
Yes, that percentage is 95% and up. as far as buckets. So if a customer calls for service, is scheduled for a certain day, normally they get picked up that same day. There's a small percentage in between that things happen, different reasons why, but we are 95% in that area.
So I guess to Commissioner Davis's point, I mean, I know you guys are stretched really thin, but in terms of the collection of service routes, it's not impacting, in my opinion, our ability to serve our residential customers.
Not yet. I mean, we've been higher than 10%, so this is just a warning sign that we need to start the wheel going and get to where we need, because at some point that 10% could be a burden on employees too, you know.
That's not to say that we don't have larger issues such as illegal dumping, et cetera, that we would like to be able to do better on, but that's really a question more of funding than of, hiring.
Right. So our core business is the curbside, and then we're in the Boki program and the Clean Street program and all that. But yeah, we do maintain a pretty good service rate, and we're proud of it. And while we're dealing with all the other issues with the indexing and the clean streets and the illegal dumping, you know, we're working on that part.
Thank you, Lloyd.
Thank you. I have a question regarding the electric fleet, the electric pilot, I should say. It's not a fleet yet.
Not yet.
I just moved you really quickly ahead, didn't I? I know that it is a fleet at the LAPD regarding the service vehicles, some of the electric service vehicles that were acquired by LAPD, that significant savings come as a result of significantly reduced maintenance costs on the cars using the electric vehicles versus the other service vehicles that the LAPD was using, not the black and white cruisers, but the service vehicles. Would that be the same too for the sanitation trucks potentially? I know that sanitation trucks we're talking apples and oranges, I got that, and I know that you still have maintenance issues on the sanitation trucks, the lifting of the bins and all of that. But as far as the motor itself, are there reduced maintenance costs potentially?
Are you talking about on the electric vehicle?
Yes. On the electric vehicle versus our other...
compared to the other one?
Yes.
It's a new technology, and that's why we're really interested in it. And I think the common thought is that it would be less maintenance, as well as all the other factors in it. But that's still an unknown, and that's why we want to do the pilot, and we want to get involved. And I guess because once we get involved in it, we'll probably figure out what adjustments need to be made to get where we need to get. Because right now we really don't know enough, and that's why we want to do the pilot. We want to know, can it handle the hills? Can it handle the heat? Can it handle working 8-10 hours a day? As far as the battery life, or do you have to go back to the location and recharge it? Those things are unknown right now, and that's what we're trying to figure out. And hopefully, if it can't do that, they can figure it out, and we can work something out.
So how many trucks will we get in the pilot?
It's going to be 2 trucks.
Okay, I was just wondering how large the sample size is going to be. So.
Well, yeah, I think 2 will give us the same information 20 would. But we can get past these 2. We have to also set up a charging station for it too. We're going to locate it in one of our districts, and that'll be an area where they have to plug it in and charge it overnight. So right now it's just going to be 2 going forward.
Okay. Well, thank you. I don't have anything further. Anybody else? Thank you. The oral report will be received.
Okay. Have a good weekend.
Mr. Campos, have we cleared the desk?
Yes, you have.
Okay, then we are adjourned this morning. Thank you.